SEC, lost in all the conversation this year about all the expansion and how everybody went to the Big Ten and who the Big 12 picked up and the lawsuits in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Nobody's talking about the SEC. Nobody's talking about Texas and Oklahoma showing up, and they are not going to knock on the door. They're going to kick the damn door down. I mean, I think the whole scope of SEC football is going to change because here come the Sooners and here come the Longhorns, and they bring tradition and they recruit really well. And obviously, things have changed a little bit in the Southeastern Conference, so pay attention to that. Big Ten storylines, well, Southern Cal and UCLA and Oregon and Washington, awful lot of travel. I think Oregon's going to do really well. I'm just not so sure that USC is going to be dominant, even though I think Lincoln Riley is a great coach and a great recruiter. I think it's going to be a really hard season at UCLA, and it's a massive rebuild season, I think, at the University of Washington, the post-Michael Penix era. Big 12. Yeah, they got Oklahoma State and they got Iowa State, and those are two pretty good programs. But I'll tell you what, everybody that I network with who covers college football, that's their main job, of the opinion Utah's going to show up and Utah's going to win that conference.
Really?
Utah. And you say, you kidding me? Salt Lake City? Those guys used to be in the Mountain West or the old West. Those guys? Well, those guys did pretty well in the Pac-12, real well,
Yeah, they did.
and did well on the national stage and in bowl games. I don't know that Arizona State's got enough players. Arizona's gone through now total changeover. They hired the San Jose State coach after their coach, Jed Fish, went to the University of Washington. So Arizona's got changes. And Colorado, I don't know what to expect right now. Yes, they have Shedeur Sanders. Yes, they backed the truck up with the next group of guys from the transfer portal. But I just wonder if all the firefighting going on between Deion Sanders, local media, national media, and all the junk off the field with court cases is going to wind up being a big distraction. Colorado goes into the Big 12. And I'll tell you, because it happened last year and I projected a year ago this week it was going to happen. The Pac-12 teams are going to run up scores on him because they were pissed about what he did to all those players in the portal. And I think the Big 12 coaches are going to do the exact same thing to Deion Sanders. And he's not going to get benefit of doubt from anybody in the media because he's dumped and pissed off all the media in Boulder, in Denver, and now it's become a true national story. So I think Deion's got trouble in the Big 12. Atlantic Coast Conference, they're not on anybody's radar. And it's because Florida State and Clemson are trying to sue to get out of the conference. They're trying to end what was a 20-year television deal that they agreed to because, quote, they're not getting enough money. Well, Florida State ought to be concerned about the Seminoles on the football field because they got bashed by Georgia Tech in the first game played in Ireland.
That's right.
Last weekend. Yes. So there's a lot of infighting going on there. And the other story is the college football playoffs. And this is going to be interesting to watch. They're going to 12 teams this year, Riley, and we're going to be arguing about that, I'm sure, all fall long.
It's going to be great. I can't wait.
You're hard to get along with. 4 conference champions from the Power 4 all qualify. The 5th qualifier will be the best from the group of 5. That could be somebody from the Mountain West if they're highly ranked, like a Boise State. Could be somebody from the Mid-American Conference, maybe a Toledo or a Miami. Somebody from the group of 5 will get 1 team in. So that means there'll be 7 at-large teams. And everybody of the opinion is that Liberty of Virginia or Coastal Carolina, guys that went 13-0, they're all going to get screwed. Because what the committee is going to do, because the committee has their own poll, the committee will take the next 7 highest-rated teams from all the biggies.
Right, of course.
We might have half the Southeastern Conference in the tournament or a whole bunch from the Big Ten, maybe an odd one or two from the ACC or the Big 12. So at the end of the day, 12 teams seems exciting, but is it exciting if half the 12 are from one conference? And that could really happen. So even if San Diego State were to go 11-1, or Coastal Carolina or Liberty be unbeaten, I don't think these guys are going to get a chance to be an additional team from the group of 5 on the college playoffs. So, John, conference roadmap. Where's your Rand McNally?
I know exactly.
Pull it out. You got some opinions here about what I just said, or the opinions about college football playoffs and who's going to get in and who's going to get short-ended.
Yeah, these are great storylines, Lee. And I love the expanded college football playoff. If it were up to me, it would be more than 12. It'd be 16, maybe even 32. And do it through the whole month of December. You could use the Peach Bowl and the Weed Whacker Bowl and all these other ones to be the quarterfinalists. That would work. But the group of 5 schools keep getting screwed over. They make 12 spots open. They'll be lucky to get one. there's no way they're going to get one of the at-large bids. It's just like March Madness. Going through the list here, listening to you talk about, Coach Prime in Colorado. Is there like a NATO of sports journalists? You attack one, therefore you attack us all, because you're really kind of getting a little irritated with Coach Prime.
I'm tired of the act. And I'll give you an example. He started this 2 weeks ago in this firefight of criticism when he refused to answer questions from a reporter from a CBS affiliate because he's publicly feuding with CBS National about their reports about his kids being in trouble, his sons being in trouble. So he took it out on the CBS guy. So the columnist immediately said that's unfair. Then he went after the columnist from the Boulder Daily Camera, which is the hometown paper. And that guy wrote a very critical column about just the way Deion is conducting his business. And then lead columnist Denver Post, who's been a constant critic of Deion since the first transfer portal meeting that he had, where he told everybody, here's the transfer portal address, get yourself in it. He was running people out of there at his first press conference. So then he stood up last week and said, I am not taking any questions from you. Nobody in this program is going to talk to you. And this is a lead columnist at the Denver Post. Then there was all kinds of national reaction from the national media. And then there was a rumbling last week that all the media was going to boycott and not cover the team and not cover practices nor press conferences. Now, they didn't follow through on that, but there's just been a reaction that we got a right to do our job. And Sean Keeler of the Denver Post followed up after Deion made a big issue of, I'm not taking any questions from you and no players are talking to you. You can stand at practice by yourself. You're a non-entity as far as we're concerned. And then Sean Keeler followed up with a column. That's great. So now got a 4-8 coach with a 3-9 press conference of the way he's acted. And he called him Deposition Deion. And he talked about his sons being in trouble with the law. And it goes on and on and on. And what did I tell you a week ago, based on my experience as a talk show host who covers the stories with the information I have, and I have a right to ask tough questions? You don't get involved in a fight with a member of the media, because a member of the media has got a right to do his job, and that includes supporting you when you're sitting there at 8-1 and critiquing and criticizing you when you're 1-8. And we have a right to ask tough questions. And you get in a fight with the media, John Riley, the media has the last bullet in the gun. The columnist, the beat writer, the editorial people, talk show radio, TV sports anchors. What do you gain by inciting this war with the working media who's just trying to do its job? That's where we are right now, and that's why I have my public stance about Deion Sanders. And I think Sean Keeler, the last sentence he wrote in a column, I think this past Sunday, was, when you don't win this year, and you're not going to win this year, you're going to get your ass fired. And we're going to be there to cover that too. Okay, so John Riley, go ahead. You tell me whether we're doing our job correctly or whether he's right or wrong. Go ahead.
The media always gets the final bullet. I mean, that's like such a hacksaw thing to say, and it's great.
It's
but
true.
You're right. They're going to get the last shot in. I like Coach Prime. I agree. He's not really conducting himself the way I'd like to see it. But in general, I like his vibe. I follow his Twitter account, and it's fantastic. The other comment I want to make on these other teams is, when it was a Power 5 thing with the Pac-12, they were still not really a Power 5. They were like a Power 4.5 or something. They weren't taken as seriously, except for the occasional Oregon SC that was really good. For me, I'm going to be rooting for all those Pac-12 teams that are going to the Big Ten, going to the Big 12, to go out there and stick it to these Midwest and East Coast journalists with the last bullet, So I think it'll be exciting. Now, imagine this is just to kind of kind of brainstorm a bit. We already know Oregon's going to be really good. You know, they're number 3 ranked. They're probably number 2 in the Big Ten. They could win it. Imagine if Oregon got number 1 in the Big Ten and USC number 2 in the Big Ten. That would be something.
Well, exactly. But then if they're number 2, talking Trojans, they deserve to be an at-large team.
Of course.
No, if you're good. Look how Washington developed into Michael Penix last year. Nobody saw that coming. So I think the playoffs are going to be exciting to watch, or the season will be exciting to watch to see who elevates themselves to be in this playoff mix. But the little guy, he's really going to get shortchanged. And then again, there's also a undercurrent of feeling, oh, the top guy in the group of 5, you really think Boise State is going to be on the same par with Texas? And
hey, remember the Boise State Oklahoma game?
Okay.
The Statue of Liberty, the hook and ladder. That was fantastic.
That was once in a lifetime.
We were going to see it again.
Yeah, but you also remember a year ago when you were sales pitching me TCU and Max Duggan and all those guys, and where they get beat 62-7 in the playoffs.
Yeah, but they're a power conference team, you know. So, you know, I just want to open it up, give these other programs a chance.
Okay. Fans Forum is open. If you are a Colorado fan, friend, and alum, if you like Neon, Dion, and Coach Prime, jump on board. Get into this discussion. If you're just a college football fan, do you like the 12-team playoffs? Is it too much? Are we inviting too many 50-7 blowouts? Or are there enough good college programs that could make the playoffs really special? And of course, the sidebar is how some of this impacts the bowl games. Fans Forum is open. Please join us if you're a college football fan looking for first-timers to join us in Fans Forum.